Woo! Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vator Games in the building. I'm Vator Games. This is Vator Games TV. This is a Manchester City fan live match reaction. And we're going to have some interaction as we talk about the action that we saw. City versus Brentford. All due respect to Brentford. Good opponents. Much respect to the Manchester City players. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. Listen, what an important win. What an important win. What an important game. What an important sign of learning from manager and players with the rotation. Ooh, I did a 1-1-5. One question, 50 minutes. Just a little over an hour before the game. And we discussed a few things that were kind of concerning in the chat. Now we're going to revisit that. And we're going to talk about the game. Let me take this out. And let me also shout out the very first in the building, showing love, being in the comments. Obviously, I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming that showed the love with the like as well. First in the building today, I gotta show my man Sam in the building goes, woo! Asked for a Savinho masterclass and got a minor one. Okay, get it, get it, and feel bad for. Listen, Bob, I feel bad for Bob. He obviously felt something and was really upset to have to get off that pitch. But the little bit that we saw, I thought it was okay. I thought it was something that can be built on. If the patience isn't there, okay, you're going to send him off, get some more experience somewhere else. But I wasn't too upset with what I was seeing from him before he came off that pitch. Let me shout out the other people in the building. Clutch goes training match. Ooh, training match. Meh. Okay, yeah. We weren't really tested. We weren't uncomfortable. At no point were we uncomfortable. Listen, the Shirky love, it's building. Every game it's building. Every game it's building with regards to the Shirky love. I hear it. Sam goes low. LOL facts, Clutch. Sam, we getting that control back in our game. Look out, rivals. The rivals are already looking out. They're already looking out. Now, they were dismissive very early in the season. They made assumptions early in the season. But after the transfer window closed, I think many of them would have revisited what they thought City were going to be after the transfer window closed, because the addition of Donnarumma, it's had a huge impact at this club. Clutch goes, Savinho, good performance. We saw Nunez in the 6th role for the first time. Game intensity in our favor as well. I don't think we can say much about Nunez in the 6 just yet. I know it was a nice flirt, a nice little let's see, but I don't think we saw enough to really say, you know what, this is probably something that he can take on as well. I think it is a good sign that Pep is obviously looking at the right games to have him have a test at it, right? To see whether he can get back centrally. And this is where I often am in complete opposites with some of the fan base, the Manchester City fan base, with how often or how harsh they are with regards to the manager, thinking that Matheus Nunes should have been playing in the 6 a long time ago. Like, you got to pick spots, because obviously if you pull him from the right-hand side, you're changing what's happening on the right-hand side. You're putting a player to have to get up to speed on that right-hand side, and then you're changing what's happening in the middle. A lot of changes there. But I was happy with what we saw. I think, and I'm going to get through the game. Let me get through these comments real quick. I'm going to get through the game. Sam goes, don't think I'd see Nunez as CDM. And we saw it, but we didn't see it. I think Pep's was like, yeah, the threat from Brentford isn't there. Let me see what I can see in this one. Let me start this. Okay, let me start this. Now, let's revisit this. Let's take this. Let's go systematic. Let's go systematic with this game. Let's go back. Let's go back to the very first, the starting 11, right? We were having the conversation. Are we going to see Savinho on the left or on the right? Are we going to see Oscar Bob on the left or on the right? The fact that we saw Savinho on the left-hand side, Bob on that right, I was cool with it. And did we not call it out? Did we not say, oh, let's see some cutback passes? Savinho had one, cut it back. I think it just missed, was it Shirky and Reinders going across that box? I think we're going to see a little more of this moving forward because that 11 was kind of calm, but we know it's not the same. It's not the same attacking threat without Haaland up front occupying 1, 2, and sometimes 3 center backs, because obviously Brentford played with 5 at the back. And then on top of that, we're not going to see Savinho and Bob in terms of a tandem, right? If there's the opportunity, I think we see something similar to what Pep subbed to with regards to bringing Foden on when Oscar Bob came out. I don't think we're going to get, and unfortunately Bob's hurt, but I don't think we're going to get a combination of Oscar Bob and Savinho like we did early in the season that had the fan base going crazy and wild. I'm seeing y'all in the chat. Godfrey in the building. The legend himself, Vator, big up. Yo, good looking out, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're going to have a long season. Godfrey, you and I are going to have a long season. I'll tell you that right now. False 9 system always lets wingers flourish. It does. There's a lot more movement, and there's a lot more responsibility and trust with regards to being in the same space, keeping that connectivity. And do we go back to that system? Probably not. When we got a killer up front, when we got Haaland up front, we ain't flirting too much with this false 9. This false 9 is like, in case of emergency, break glass. We're really not trying to do this false 9 stuff too often. But the 11 that we are kind of looking at, a lot of changes. Again, Pep learns, manager learns. Leverkusen, everybody was crashing. Everybody was crying and upset. What's the manager doing? But he's trying, and he admitted it, thought that he could put that amount of changes on the players and that they could handle it. They clearly couldn't. So what does Pep do? Pep keeps Nico O'Reilly at left back, consistency. He keeps Nico Gonzalez in that 6, consistency. And with regards to control that we've all seen when subbed on, and even the form that he's in, Shirky on that pitch, we got the control there. We got the control. So he didn't make a mad amount of changes. And even the changes that were made, I think it was, we saw early. The subs, we can adjust to it. We'll make that work. I thought that how we scored that first goal was, I don't think it's quote unquote open play, because right, it was a corner headed out. Shirky, where's my ball? Shirky with the control down a foot, fakes like he's going to kick it left, so the defender rushes out. He brings it back to the right, dual-footed, by the way, and then top shelf. Absolutely brilliant. I thought that was great. And we weren't under any pressure. Let me check the stats real quick. We weren't under any pressure. They hit us with 3 shots the entire game. 3 shots on target. And I want to say that was all in the second half. That's when they were chasing a little bit, in my opinion. We had 12 total shots, 7 on target. I think we left some goals on that pitch, to be honest with you. I think we should have had more shots on target. And listen, our corners, we had 5, they had 1. It was a game where we were clearly in control. The second goal. Now, it was joked about. Savinho masterclass. We didn't get a Savinho masterclass. But we did get a Savinho that's growing in confidence. We got a Savinho that give him some time. Also, let him work with some consistency with which he should have in the midfield. And I think Shirky and Gonzalez gave him that. And from a partnership standpoint, he had O'Reilly on there. I think it was a good environment for him. Savinho will need to be leaned on, will need to be trusted, because we're not getting another player, if we do, until the Jan window. And until then, we got to rely on him. We're going to have him have an impact. And I thought he was good. I thought his goal was well taken. Like, you got to take those opportunities. He scuffed one. It was on his right foot, top of the box, kind of like dropped to him, kind of scuffed it. But the confidence to want to take the shot there was good. I also felt, even though we had 7 shots on target, I think there's a few spells where we were a little too playful in their kind of like final third, top of the 18-yard box a little bit with possession. And I'm going to go back and watch this game just because there's players that play that I don't see often. And between Rico Lewis, and when Foden got subbed on, and Reinders, I'm just top of mind. There's a few plays where I'm like, guys, slip the pass through. Just have it forward. You see the players running into space. Trust yourself. Put that pass on and see whether they can get on the other end of it. I thought that we left a few of those out there. But game-wise, absolutely what we needed. Professional win, 2-0, another clean sheet. Trafford deserved the clean sheet, and we move. We move. Now, who we play next? Who we play next is interesting. Who we play next is going to be interesting because there are no easy games. It's going to be the semifinals. It looks like it is Arsenal and Crystal Palace on one side. Newcastle are playing who right now? Who are Newcastle playing? Why am I going blank? Newcastle. Chelsea already played. Who's playing right now? Why am I losing it? Chat. Why am I? Fulham. Good looking out, Sam. Thank you. Fulham. Oh, it's this point in the show. It's the point in the show where I gotta. You know what I gotta do. It's 1-1 Fulham. Oh, who do we want to win that game? Who do we want to win that game? I'm not too sure, but this is that point in the show where I gotta chill, take a sip of water. Shout out my gal who's in the chat right now. My gal. I hope you're doing well. My gal is in the building. Rose goes, hey, Vader, awesome game. Shirky is such an amazing player. I love how Savinho is growing in confidence. Me too. I know that these players don't always deliver at the time that we expect it to, but you can see that they're improving. You can see, and my biggest criticism to Savinho is decision making, which many players have to improve. And again, it's his second year here at City. But on top of that, just get a little stronger on the ball. He can manipulate the ball. He can play the ball however he wants. He's got that. Just be a little stronger on the ball. And I think he's a problem. I think he's going to be a serious problem. If I got a criticism for Shirky, I would say, hey, I mean, it's far from the season being over. But for Shirky, I would be like, hey, work on that. Not necessarily weight room, but work on that pitch. Work on that pace, that endurance, being able to manage the game. I would like to see him speed up just a little bit. It's funny on how he can do all the tricks that he wants, but if he never really creates a gap to really put a player or a defender on his back, I think it's something he could add really nicely to his game. Sam's saying need Fulham to win. Is it because of what we just did versus Fulham? Why are you saying that? I'm curious because we may not. Okay, so there's Fulham, Newcastle, Chelsea are already in, and then it's going to be either Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Fulham. So many London teams. Yeah, I guess probably Fulham is the lesser of the two. But I wouldn't mind. I mean, I know it's not true revenge, but I wouldn't mind getting revenge versus Newcastle. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Godfrey in the building. He goes, if we're to beat Palace, Vader, I want to avoid City until the final. If we can get there, of course, prefer a one-off game. True. The drama would be nice. The drama, if we were to meet before the final, would be nice because that energy would be like, oh, look at the two clubs expected to be challenging for the title, and they're playing, and there would be a lot of sub stories, right? A lot of plots that could be planted and suggested with regards to who's going to win the Prem based off of this matchup versus the League Cup. I'm not mad either way. I do want this trophy. I'm not going to lie. I do want this trophy. How bad do Arsenal fans want this trophy? That's a question. Sam's buzzing. I'm amped up. I'm amped. I'm so glad for the game. I'm so glad. I'm so happy with how we played. Dre P in the building. He goes, "Hey guys, another win. Had to run to the store for the family. You got to do that. Hey, if you're ass, you got to go make that move." And miss a second goal, but so glad to see City win, even when not at full strength. The weapons we had on that bench was a big reason why I was calm. Well, I was like, if this doesn't go our way, if we're a little sloppy, if we give up a goal, it's like, we got weaponry on the bench. We got weaponry. Look, I can bring, and Pep brought on Foden, by the way, but we can bring on Haaland if we need to. Come on, Haaland, give us a couple goals. We had the weaponry on there. I wasn't too upset. Sam goes, nah, Newcastle last year winners, and they do want the Carabao again. All right, I'm not mad. You know me, I like tough competition. I like to know exactly where we're at because I got more confidence with who we face in the future because of that measuring stick, but I'm not mad. Godfrey goes, that's why I said if we are to get there, Sam, I know that Arteta is capable of all I can do is hope he doesn't throw it away this season. Okay. Now you play, not to worry you, Godfrey, but let me see Arsenal's schedule. So Arsenal play Everton on Saturday. Okay? Y'all play Everton on Saturday. 3 days later, you play Crystal Palace. All right? So, let's work this out in real time. You play Everton away. 3 days later, on Tuesday, you're going to play Crystal Palace in the quarters, okay, of the League Cup. And then 4 days later, you play at home versus Brighton. If your manager is going to manage any type of rotation, quote unquote, weaker squad, it's gonna be the League Cup. He's not giving up any league points. He's not gonna give up a chance at dropping points versus Everton, versus Brighton, and definitely not versus Aston Villa. Godfrey, I think you need to prepare yourself for a possible weak squad after Everton playing Crystal Palace. Just to let you know. JP in the building. Talking to Sam. At this stage, got to be ready for anybody. I don't care who City face next. Just got to show up whilst resting players. Yeah. I don't. Who we play next? I'm not even looking that far. My gal goes, Sam's, I'm buzzing indeed, and I'm sure you are too. Love me some Manchester City. Trust me. 2-1 Newcastle. Okay, Zane. Good. Appreciate the update. Let me see what's saying. Trevor in the building, able to catch the show. My guy goes big up Vator. Now, I'm going to say this. We showed the rotation necessary. We've got I don't want to be disrespectful, guys. This is supposed to be a match reaction, so I'm going to keep it tight. But what I'm going to ask of you, everybody in the chat right now, who's all in the chat? Let me name y'all real quick. I got Godfrey, Trevor, Sam in the chat, Dre P, Zane, Rose. I mentioned Godfrey. I got y'all in the chat, okay? This is what I want to ask. Clutch. I'm not sure if Clutch is here, but I had Clutch in the chat. This is what I'm going to ask, okay? Play around, play with me if you don't mind. I want to have you guys ask questions as if it were a press conference, right? So we can deal with moments within the game. What did you think? Blah blah. I watched the entire game despite having to have it on with work. But questions throughout the game, questions with regarding to players, maybe player performances, player decisions, and upcoming matches, that type of thing in terms of questions. Now, as I was saying that out loud, I want to say this. I think we saw exactly why Pep is bringing Kosanov along slower than some fans would want. All right? Because Kosanov has a questionable yellow every time he plays. And I'm not holding him based off of that first impressions, because the first impressions versus Chelsea, I could easily label him and say he's rash. And what Dre P with the question, I'm gonna catch you real quick. But Kosanov, he needs to slow things down a little bit. He needs to maybe it's a matter of just being on the same page with his other defenders. I think that's why Pep is bringing him along slowly. LFC in the building, I see you too. Dre P got a question. He goes, "What do you think of Kosanov's this match?" Now this is it. This is it. He can be a great player for us. I'm not writing him off. I would prefer him center back versus right back. I would. And he can work on this as of now. This is what I'm saying. I think he can work on his ball distribution. I prefer him to have to either play it to another center back or play it to Gonzalez versus trying to distribute the ball in many different ways that we see from a right back. I don't want him at right back. Okay, his pace amazing, and his pace the way it is. If we continue to play our high line, and he's one of the center backs. Oh, we're laughing. We're cooking because we got speed with him. Gavardio's no slouch, but we got speed with O'Reilly. O'Reilly takes a little bit to get going, but top speed can move, and we know Nunes can move. I think that would be great. Now, to also say Diaz hold bench, that's a tough one to do because Diaz commanding the way he is in terms of the back line is something. But I wasn't mad with Kosanov. But there's a reason why Pep is taking his time, why he's getting him set, reminding him what to do, what not to do, and it's been a gradual process. He hasn't just been thrown into the deep end like that. I see you, LFC. Good looking out. Sam's agreeing with me. Follow up. Would you play Kosanov versus Arsenal or Chelsea at the Bridge? No. I'd rather not. There's a reason why he can be a. If we're dealing with a game where the opposing manager's brought on speed, balls over the top, or is trying to kill us with pace, or even a lot of they got quick midfielders and they're trying to run through the channels, bring on Kosanov. But he needs some more time, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not writing him off. I'm not saying that he's not going to be capable in the future. I'm just saying, as of now, I can see why he's brought along at the gradual pace that he's been. Godfrey goes, I don't watch the match, but how was Mukusa was good. Not great, good. I thought he was feeling on that pitch a little too long, not involved. I mean, he was movement without the ball. I was actually cool with. And this is what I said earlier. I feel like we missed a few passes that could have gone into him. I liked how he pressed. I think he was on that pitch. He's like, I haven't been involved. And he kind of like just rocketed one. He just launched one. And to be fair, it wasn't too far off. But it was I feel like I haven't been in the game type frustration. But I like him very much as a player. Is he a striker? I think he is. He just needs time. His build is good. I'm trying to think how many corners I remember him delivering. I think he delivered the cross on that, or he delivered the corner that got headed out that Shirky ended up scoring on. I was okay. I was okay with him. I'd like to see him again, continue to remain in the squad. And now with Marmouche out, could he be that sub on when game's in control and we want to get some experience? Absolutely. Godfrey, I thought Makusa was fine, getting used to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Would you start Savinho? Would I start Savinho versus West Ham? Because that's who we play next. I would. I would start Savinho in our next game. So if we start Savinho on the left, we start Savinho on the left. We start Foden on the right, Shirky in the middle, Holland up top. Let's get those 2, 3 goals early if we can. It's West Ham. Let's get those goals early if we can. And then sub off Foden. Let's have some rotation, some rest. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Sam goes, what was different this game than 11? Sam, 10 changes is the difference. 10 changes is the difference. Pep didn't do a madness this time around. Pep went and let's count out the changes actually out loud. So we've got Trafford 1, Rico Lewis 2, Kostanov 3, Ake 4. Oh no, O'Reilly, okay, Gonzalez. Reinders played Reinders played versus Crystal Palace, so that's not a change. Five change would be Savinho. Wait. Yeah, 5 change would be Savinho. 6 change in Oscar Bob. 7 changes in Makusa. So Pep learned. Rather than doing 10 changes, he did 7. He did 7 changes. I think that's the Sam, I think that's the biggest change. Rather than doing a madness in 10, he did 7. Rather than doing all that. And you know what? Cheers. Cheers to Pep. We can't accuse him of not adjusting, not learning from previous mistakes. And that goes for player and manager. Zane goes, I want you to get Newcastle or Chelsea, Vator. Let's wait and see. You want us to get Chelsea or Newcastle, so you get... What's going on here? You want us to get Chelsea or Newcastle, and you get... Look at this guy. Why don't you want one of those two? Huh? Why not you? Tell me he's more false 9. I don't know. I think Makusa could play out and out 9, I think. But what was asked in this game, because they were playing a back 5, I think Pep was like, I don't want you fighting with those 3 center backs all game. Like, no, I'm going to have you move, create some space. I think it was really more of a tactical thing. When will Dre P? He ain't getting none unless we get a game control of like 3 goals up. And even when we had even when we were up 5-1, we saw what happened. Nico G, he's getting rest by being subbed off early. I think he starts every game. You're hearing it here. He's gonna start every game, but his rest is gonna be being subbed off. The sooner we can sub them off, and as a team, as a club, if we can do that, if the players can go and blitz, if we can blitz the opponent, boom, 2 goals up, 3 goals up, and then we just pass the ball around, right? We just pass the ball, make them tire themselves out, and they're chasing shadows all game, and then we're just moving it nice and calm, and then Nico G gets subbed off around the 65th. He plays an hour, sub him off around the 65th, 70th minute. We do that on regular. That'll be his rest. Ricardo, we won the game, City till I die. Listen, Ricardo, we did, and we had complete control of that game. Complete control. I'm not mad at the performance, and I think we go in with a strong squad versus West Ham. We see what Arsenal do versus Everton, because after Everton, they play Crystal Palace in the League Cup. It's a tough 2 games for them. A really tough 2 games for them. Godfrey goes, Ake's still looking good. Ake's on his final legs, last legs, man. When I see him run, it looks, and I'm not saying it's not an age thing. It's weird. he's available, but I don't think he's fully fit. Ake is available, but I don't think he's fully fit. His movement isn't fluid. The City should hire me as their movement coach, especially with regards to sprints, because that your running posture can actually dictate a lot with regards to reoccurring injuries, how you're making contact with the ground, and just how you're putting strain on your hamstrings, calves. It can lead, like, if good form can prevent a lot. So I don't know. I'd have to really analyze them catching a sideways view, but yeah, I think Ake, there's something wrong with his running gait right now. Sam goes, LOL, JP. Doubt it until Roger gets back. Yeah, Nico ain't getting no rest. None. Godfrey, Ake was man of the match for me today. It was class. Man of the match was Shirky. After Shirky, I wouldn't be upset. You know what? I did like how O'Reilly played again today. I did like, even with Foden coming on, him and Shirky is just, that's beautiful. Like, that's beautiful football. That's why we tune in. That's why we record games, to go back and watch how they move the ball, how they work together. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Ake put his body on the line. Was it the Trouble in Four-Peat season? I think we leaned on him heavily. We leaned on a few players heavily, actually. 7, not that different from 10. Sam, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? 10 is almost the entire squad. He, at least from I got control in the midfield with Shirky. I got connectivity between the midfield and the defense with Nico Gonzalez. And in terms of a keeper having a consistent outlet, or knowing someone that's going to know where to be, where not to be, O'Reilly, I'm just saying, 10 is mad. 7 we can work with. Was Lewis? Rico Lewis was also good. Yeah, obviously he was vacating that right back role and completely inverting and being available in the pitch centrally. We were missing him. Was it something that, hey, we don't need to force the issue? Probably. It was like, we don't need to force this. But he was picking up some good pockets. And he had a very nice clearance inside our 18-yard box to clear it out defensively. He went down to ground, but he got the ball, and I thought, yeah, that was sound. I really like that. Now, is he a right back? I think he's getting in where he fits in, right? That's something that we have coverage for. Could he be serviceable in the midfield? I'm curious to what his engine's like, to be honest with you. I'm curious to see whether he could whether he could do that. And now all these games are so important, we probably won't see it. But if there was a game where we were like 4 goals up early, and Pep was like subbing him on, and he played like a central midfielder role, like a true center midfielder role, not a right back going centrally inverting or anything like that, I'd be curious. I think he could really do his thing, which is answering something different to the 7 changes versus 10. But yeah, I was answering Godfrey with regards to Lewis. Sam goes, I thought Pep tactically got it right and allowed Nico G, O'Reilly. Yes. And the subs were perfect. In my opinion. I think we did it just right. We got West Ham coming up next, and let's put pressure on Arsenal. Let's win that game. Let's win that game controlled. No drama. Now I say we're probably gonna have drama, but let's win that game. No drama. Let's apply some pressure, because they have a must win versus Everton, or I would actually say a must not drop points, because they're 2 points up on us. We win, we go a point ahead. If they were to get a draw, they add a point, we're level. They can't drop points. It's a must win for them. We know psyche-wise, and again, this is more show for CIA, another show that I do on Sundays, but this is more CIA talk, the psychology with these Arsenal fans. No offense, Godfrey, no offense. But the psychology with the majority of the Arsenal fans, if we can apply that mental warfare, we got them. Sam goes, I thought, oh yeah, I mentioned that. Rico could have done better, but he was yeah, I'm in agreement. Ricardo goes, I know he did, bro. I was watching the watch long. Oh, wicked. Vator. Pep is finding the right formula at the right time. Rose, my gal, I have to agree. I think he experimented and a few moments got it wrong. He experimented with some subs even early in the season. Didn't quite work out. He's like, okay, I can do this. I can't do that. Oh, I can do that, but I can't do this. He's seeing all of that. And again, there's probably more things that he's doing on the training pitch that are going to come to light later on this season. Dre asks, does City need to sign anyone in Jan? Dre? Yeah, we do. We do. And I don't even think it's, when you say anyone, I think it's any two, any three, which is bad, right? We're going to sign 3 players in the January transfer window. But we did a madness last Jan. Not to be overly greedy, but I think we sign any 2. I would like us to sign any 2 in the Jan window. That would be doable. That would be manageable. I think that would cover us for some of the questions we have with regards to Rodri at this present moment, and also with the injured Oscar Bob right now. Hopefully that's not too long term. Ricardo goes, 4-Pete, we did that. No other team in the world accomplished that before. Listen, 4-Pete is something I'm going to be talking about that 4-Pete for a long time. Something that's never done before. And I'm also very realistic with understanding why we weren't able to win a 5-Pete. Now, we would have had to been extremely cutthroat, like extremely like no nonsense. Sorry, Gundogan. Sorry, KDB. We're moving on. As you do that, there's also managing emotions, managing personalities, managing people inside the club that remain. If you've ever been part of a mass firing at a club, when you're one of the few that remain at the company, sorry I said club, but if you've ever been at like a mass firing, downsizing at a company, and you're the remaining ones, there's this working guilt that like you're obviously you're happy you still have your job and everything, but there's also this like everyone got let go around me and I'm still here, and these are like work friends that I'm kind of coming across or whatever, but there's a weirdness like, do I trust that I'm still here? Are they looking out for me? Am I only here because they did the bean counting and based off of my productivity and and my salary? Like there's so much. If there was like a clear out that City did in terms of like out with the old, in with the new, let's go for this 5-Pete, I still don't know whether we do it or not, because there's things that would hang over these players. And this is why I'm bigging up the 4-Pete. I'm bigging up the 4-Pete despite it not being a 5-Pete, but I'm bigging up the 4-Pete because many clubs before us have tried. Many clubs have tried to just repeat. Just repeating the Prem title in itself, holding on and defending the Prem title, going back to back in the Prem, is who's done it? In the Prem, 3 clubs. 3 clubs in the Prem era. That's crazy. United, Chelsea, City. Those are the only clubs that have been able to retain the title and go on to win it. United were able to do a 3-Pete. We were able to do a 3-Pete, and then we did a 4-Pete. Listen, I'm with you, Ricardo. I am flexing that. I'm flexing that all the time. Sam, yeah, if we win versus Hammers, let's see Arsenal. We got to put the pressure on them. We got to put the pressure on Arsenal. We know how fragile that fan base is. Oh, the lack of sleep they're gonna have. The night we get, let's handle the business versus West Ham. I'm not gonna be cocky here, but let's handle business versus West Ham. That night after we win that game, the pressure we're gonna put on them, problems. Just going to Just going top of the table will, yeah, rample the minds. I'm telling you, if there's, of all the fan bases, like the most fragile, and I'm not exaggerating here, the most fragile of fan bases is Arsenal. And the reason why is, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Godfrey, maybe I should have done earmuffs in here because I am talking a little rough with regards to Arsenal. But you know how, and this is more of a section. This is more talking with you guys. I go on these rambles. I do need to cut the match reaction short, but let me just finish this one thought. There's so much that gets put into being great early, right? Being great or projecting greatness that's going to happen. Because they've done all this, they've already labeled the Arsenal defense. They've already labeled, oh, this is like, even when they were pursuing, they're not going to do it. But when they were like, oh, look at Arsenal not conceding any shots on target, they're gonna break this Chelsea record. They do a lot of this so early, so the fragility is there. It's just right there on the surface. It's just right there on the surface, and it doesn't take much to crack it. Arsenal falling behind to this City that aren't supposed to be, don't get it twisted, City are not supposed to be challenging this Arsenal. It's not. We're not supposed to be. It's supposed to be Liverpool that are supposed to be challenging it. No offense, saying, but it should be Liverpool. The fact that we're doing it is also, that's a conversation. Arsenal are going to crumble under the pressure of City being above them. I know it. Yeah, we're gonna apply mad pressure. Yeah, 4P is definitely difficult to accomplish. Now, JP hit me with a question. Do you think the mass firing is what's hitting Liverpool? Did City pass up 5 with a greater eye on the future? Now, what's affecting Liverpool are many factors. The largest one that Liverpool fans are ignoring is that repeating isn't easy. Repeating isn't easy. What many Liverpool fans did is that, and you know what, this is a conversation. These are great conversations. Great question. I'm gonna tailor this because this is obviously something that we could free flow. But Liverpool's problem is, for many years they were like, oh, City are doing all of this madness because FSG are cheap. City buy and spend and get these players in, and they go out and do it. Liverpool fans didn't understand that the winning wasn't because of the spending. The winning was because of the approach with regards to holding on to the title, preparing, and having the balance while going forward. It wasn't just spending. So when Liverpool won the title, spent heavy, they thought, oh, we've seen this before. This is what City do. This is what Chelsea do. They're just gonna, no. And the motivation, because we see it in regular life. I don't know if you work in sales. I don't know, whatever area you work in. Even when dealing with young adults, older people, when you've accomplished a goal, to get the same drive for the person to exceed the previous goal is not easy. Even when there's an incentive that you're going to be paid more, it's not an easy thing to do. And the fact that they won it last season. The manager is not equipped. Now, can the manager have an off year, win it back, something like Arsene Wenger did? I think so. So when Liverpool fans are like, get this guy out of here, I'm like, yeah, get him out of here. But the going back to back is why I think they've struggled so much. The players aren't as motivated, and I kind of spoke about this, JP. Many players were playing on contracts last season. That's a huge motivator to prove themselves to others. On top of that, when you have everyone with full bellies, oh, I've done it, I'm not going to run hard again, I've done that already, like, this game isn't important, we got the next one to worry about. This is the mental part. City passing on the 5, I think City missed in terms of assessing, properly assessing the strengths of the clubs around them. I think they saw Liverpool not spending. They're like, oh, we beat Liverpool last season. They didn't spend on any transfers. They got a new manager. We can handle that with the squad that we have. Oh, Arsenal didn't really go out and get anything threatening. What they got, Calafiori, they got, who they get? Moreno. Like, who they got isn't too concerning. Like, I think that's how they looked at things. And obviously, we got hit with the injuries and we didn't manage that well. players did fall off in terms of their levels. I think we just missed it. I think we were a little overconfident with how we did things. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna hit Sam and then follow up with these questions. Pundits already flip flopping and saying City can win the title. They said we were finished a couple of months ago. This is it. Sam, the amount of pundits, the amount of people on this platform that are doing their shows, they wrote City off and said, City, I don't see them challenging. They're going to be third or fourth. Now, they never said that we weren't going to be out of Europe. They weren't doing anything like that. But they did say that we would be in title contention, that we would be title threats. It was always Arsenal, Liverpool, easily spoken. Many were putting Chelsea ahead of them because of what Chelsea did in the Club World Cup, but also on how poor we looked. So this revisionist stuff, they did not have us challenging. They did not have us 2 points off Arsenal. I don't care who you are. That's a damn lie. Sam goes, people dismiss what we've done easily, like Judge Mo saying it's boring to see City dominate, but nobody sees how hard it is. Pure disrespect. Right. The admiration that goes into how difficult it is to go back to the well a third, a fourth, and trying to attempt a fifth time gets dismissed. And it's funny, actually. It's funny from Judge Mo because he's in a league where he saw Juventus do a madness, right? But I think there's and it's hard. It's really hard to filter out. It's hard to filter out the football talk to I have my channel and I want to have fun doing my channel. So you'll hear it. You'll often hear it when you tune into these shows, like, oh, you know what would be great for content? What would be great for content is this, this, and this. Like, okay, that would be great for content. When it comes down to like the sport now, the ability to go back to back, three-peat, four-peat, that is fascinating in itself. But again, when you're a rival or quote unquote neutral, you don't care about that part of it. JP goes, when people point at the money City spent, I say yes, correct, and four-peat is the result. When United and Liverpool, Chelsea spend cash like that, they end up winning one title at best. This is it. And JP, you and I, City fans, we got the perfect counter. Yeah, we spend just like all y'all have spent. Just like every one of you has spent. The difference is when you guys spend, y'all don't do the madness like us. There's spending, there's quality spending. There's a vision with the spending. So look at how you're, from a CIA standpoint, let someone else win a Prem. You know how much talk is going to be there with regards to how much they had to spend to win one? And I'm going to listen, Dre P, everybody in the chat, I'm going to be so rude in terms of ramping up the pressure. I'm going to be really rude with how I have to ramp up the pressure for Arsenal as we move forward, because Vator games. You know how everybody flexes that Liverpool have only won 2 Prems in 30-something years, right? So they've only won 2 Prems in 30-something years. All right, so we're going to do this real quick. Let me see here. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. So they've only won 2 in 33 years. And we've got Prem winners, because Premier League winners, correct me if I'm wrong, Arsenal have only won 3 Prems, right? Is that right? Am I right to remember that? They've only won 3 Prems? Arsene Wenger won 3 Prems. So when I hear Arsenal fans, dissing Liverpool fans, like you've only won 2 in 33 years. When I hear Arsenal fans go in on Liverpool fans, you've only won 2 in 33 years. Like, shut up. They've won 2 more recently than you, and you've only won 3. What are we doing? What are you really doing here? Oh, you won an invincible one, so what? That counts for 5? Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy, and this isn't a CIA show. I need to say that for Vator games. Sam in the building goes, nah, Judge Mo hides his bias for Red Claws behind good for content spin. That is a good, that's a good disclaimer, right? That's a good disclaimer. Good for content. Nah, I mean, that show, Judge Mo, Don Hussam, and Terry, three Arsenal, not outright Arsenal fans, but 3 fans for Arsenal for the season. I don't look for admiration from rivals. Nah, you'll never get it. I really don't care. What I can't stand is the pity party and excuses. There is, listen, Trey P, the club that gets coddled. Oh, you'll be okay. Oh, you got injuries. Oh, you're the club that gets the coddling the most. Arsenal. Watch how, and you mentioned in the chat, watch how Judge Mo talks about Arsenal. Watch how Terry talk about Arsenal after a match reaction, right? It's a nice titled video for those guys. Oh, look at Arsenal. Good luck. Oh, Hussam was like, oh, I predicted Arsenal to win the last 2 years. Like, it's what they do. It's what they do, and I get it. Arsenal's good for business, but from a football standpoint, noting what strengths, what weaknesses, what vulnerabilities happen to be, and City have their vulnerabilities. City have their weaknesses. I'm quick to say it. I'm like, I think from a player standpoint, we're not quite there, and that's why I'm so surprised when we're 2 points off. Now, this match reaction has been a mad one because we've been talking for a minute now. Now, we are gonna do a lot more of these. I continue talking because I see y'all in the chat asking questions, so I'm with you. But I hope you enjoyed what I was able to break down. Our 11 got it done. 7 changes versus 10 like Pep has done, but he's learned from it. The players delivered and performed really well. On top of that, Brentford's no joke. They're in poor form, and they really didn't cause a threat. Comfortable, professional win. Also, what we're seeing, confidence growing from Savino, I'm all for it. The top quality that we have from Shirky, we're going to see more of that. Pep and his subs, I think, were spot on. It's unfortunate we saw Oscar Bob with that injury. I hope it's not something long. I hope it's just like a muscular, look like maybe his hamstring behind the knee, and he's not out too long. We got a relatively comfortable opponent in West Ham. Let's get the job done. Let's get the win. Let's put pressure on Arsenal. And on top of that, tune in to this channel, subscribe, because I got shows Why Always Me tomorrow. Why Always Me tomorrow is going to be here on Vator Games TV, expected around 4 p.m. UK time. And I'm going to do Intelligent Agendas on Sunday. All right? That's where you can find me. I'm going to be stateside with Mark Mancunian Way, Martin, a little later tonight. And you can also catch me linking up with Sarcasm City TV with my man Flawless. Continue to show us support. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Good looking out. And I see y'all in the comments. Love. If you're watching this on a replay, hit me up with a comment in there, even with a question. I will respond to it, and you'll catch me next show. I'm Vader Games. I'm going to exit this like it is a press conference. Let me catch my water. I'm out. Actually, now I'm out.